Hi everybody, I'm Termite. I'll be playing Amy Veeres, our systems analyst.
Hello, I am Tanya. I'll be playing Genevieve, aka Frankie Ashford, the acquisition specialist.
I'm Jade. I'll be playing Kayla Proffitt, the financial investigator.
Hello there. I'm Alereg. I'll be playing Becker, the administrative assistant.
Hi, I'm Bloodied Porcelain. I'll be playing Karen from HR.
I'm Legacy. I will be playing the intern.
And I am Scott, the chill master for the evening. In the most intense situations, our unconscious brains kick in and we begin to react with our autonomic systems. We fight or flee. But what if our minds are controlled or influenced by others? The unknown is said to have abilities that influence the minds and invade even our deepest thoughts. And when members of SAVE encounter these creatures, they hope that their basic training by their superiors have taught them to withstand these influences. But what if their superiors have fallen to the influences themselves? Do they fight or flee? We join our envoys back in the office, now severely disturbed by the unknown, while John Ruse watches as they slam the door to his containment room. It is still April 28th, and it is still Flannel Friday. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
When we last left you, Amy and Frankie were with Becker interrogating John Rouge, while Kayla and Alfred were investigating some things back up on the first floor. And I think that we ended with just the most dramatic point where it became clear that something is very, very wrong here in the office. So, I turn the tables to you and let you tell me what's going on next.
Okay, now that that's out of the way, can we go find Kayla?
Sure. Do you know where she was? And while Frankie's saying this, she's kind of playing with her new shotgun.
Yeah, I think they went up to records. They were looking into Bob. That's the name that was on the fucking file.
Okay.
Let's go see if they found anything.
Okay, well, Kayla is up on the first floor. So when you go up the stairs, you don't notice any noises or strange things like some of you have on your continuous journeys up and down the stairs lately. There's just the normal sounds of your footfalls. There's the bodies of people who were zombies or something still laying in the stairwell. And you get to the top floor where when you open the door, you find the entire floor where normally you have desks and cubicles and all that, like, sort of strewn around, where all of the desks, tables, chairs, cubicle walls, thrown against the sides of the office space, thrown against doors to offices, thrown against just the bathroom doors, things like that. And in the center of the room sits the copy machine. The break room seems to be barricaded on one side by all of that stuff. And you find Kayla there by herself, while Alfred is still rummaging through records and probably likely to be preoccupied for a while.
Amy is, against her better judgment, gonna go look at the copy machine.
It's moved to the side because you moved it to the side before. And the panel is still open on the floor where there were the 4 levers, 3 of which you have pulled and are up.
Cool. Okay, what were you able to find?
I think that the thing in the vents is the bloody bones. They apparently like to live in, like, cramped places, like crawl spaces and basements and attics and that sort of thing. They prefer to eat children, and apparently we used to feed it one that was under 10 every month or so, which is horrifying. But they will eat anything if they're hungry, and this one will probably be very hungry.
Great. And the 5 of us are, I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume, the only actual people in this office now, so I think it's coming after us.
Yeah, I think so.
We used to feed it living children?
Yes. Which is horrifying.
Yeah.
I think that we might be the bad guys.
What I don't
Morally
understand-
gray.
What I don't understand is why they harp on us about paperwork. I feel like that's a lot of paperwork.
So I guess I can explain since Kayla's here too. The main reason behind the paperwork is because they want to collect as much information on us as possible, so they can replace us and not run into issues.
So
That
what
makes
you're
sense.
saying is it's a good thing I've never done my paperwork.
Probably, yeah.
I have done a lot of your paperwork for you, though.
Oh, by the way, Kayla, I think that poltergeist is haunting more than just your desk now.
Yeah, I kind of assumed that when I saw the room. I guess we'll just have to figure that out as well. What do we want to deal with first?
Let's deal with the thing that we can see first. Let's go
Alright.
try and find this fucking bloody bones. Oh. I'd hate to ask. Kayla, can you fucking do anything to help? Spiders. Not good.
Yeah, definitely. And I would like to use Calm. That is a high success.
Okay. All right. I probably should have been looking at that since you told me you were going to do it, and I didn't open it to stare at it.
It looks like it just integrates trauma.
Yeah.
And since I have the inured edge, I get to integrate 2.
Ooh. Okay. So that puts you at
Puts me down to minor.
That's what I figured. Okay. Cool. So you do some stuff and you push forth your will to calm Amy. And Amy seems to take it pretty well. Much more than, usually people take it.
Thanks. I don't like spiders crawling on me. I don't like things crawling on me. There are too many spiders.
Understandable. There were a lot of spiders.
Okay. You want to go try and deal with this thing? I feel like we're gonna make fucking great bait for it.
Is that the plan?
We really should get things back into containment. Because if we just leave them out, they're gonna be a massive problem for us moving forward.
So one of us is going to be bait.
Well, it's better we all go crawling through the vent, and honestly, I'd rather take our chance of being out in the open at least.
I don't know how to kill this thing now that I think about it. That was not in the paperwork.
Oh, good, you're here.
Hi, Karen.
Jesus.
Hi, ladies. Wow. I'm so glad you're at your desks. Mr. Orphan said that the lockdown was a test and everything went really well, but now we have paperwork because there have been a lot of HR infractions. So we're going to have to take care of that.
Karen, there are more important things going on right now. There are dangerous monsters running around the office that might hurt people.
we have teams for that sort of thing, and right now, your job is to do your paperwork.
Karen, we're the team that deals with those things.
We have other teams, Amy. You are not the only people here who are special.
Everybody
so why
else
don't
just
you
left the
have a
office.
seat? Why don't you have a
Seen
seat?
anyone
I
else
have
here?
some write-ups for all of the very many infractions that have happened. Mr. Worfen did mention that the third floor is only for authorized personnel. And now that you're back at your desk, well, that's great, because if you leave your desk, you get 3 strikes. And I'd hate to have to do that.
I'm slightly confused. The desk is still pushed against the wall. We're not at a desk at this moment.
Okay, well, that may be an out-of-character thing that I was unaware of.
Oh no,
I
it's
assumed
fine.
you were back in your office.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely fine. See, because Worfen said that they need to get back to their desks. The desks are against the wall, so.
Where's Roger? Did he leave?
He doesn't seem to be around here. No.
Karen, you wouldn't happen to know where Roger is so he can, put things back, clean up a bit.
My understanding is that he is off and dealing with a leak as usual.
Oh.
I'm sure you can handle moving your own desk. It's not that heavy.
It's at this point that you all see Becker also lift finger up to his earlobe as the clear plastic of his earpiece chimes, obviously. And he looks just like, God damn it. Alright. And his hand drops down. Security has also been told to go back to their desks, and that third floor is also off limits to those that are not authorized.
Becker, you understand that we work for the things we're supposed to be destroying, right? All orders you get are coming from the mouth of the thing that we swore to destroy.
I don't know.
Well, be that as it may, and I doubt that, Amy, you might want to see Psych. Sounds a little paranoid. I'll make a note in your file to make sure that you're set up for an appointment, especially before you take that promotion. Becker, I have, and she kind of pulls, shuffles through the files in her arm. Right here. These are all filled out. Will you file them for me? It's just a massive stack of paperwork.
Sure, Miss Karen.
Thank you, Becker.
He picks up
Karen,
the...
before you head off to wherever it is you go, is there specific paperwork I should have?
Oh, yes,
or-
absolutely. I have
Excellent.
several things that all 3 of you need to fill out.
Okay. Is there something
There are
where I can
forms regarding
sign?
destruction of saved property.
I was thinking more about the John.
Chillmaster, would I have something about the John that she needs to fill out?
I'm not entirely sure what she's referring to.
Me either.
The red one.
Do we have any paperwork for putting him into containment?
Yeah, because he's kind of gonna be down there probably forever, busted knees and whatnot.
Ah, I get it. Is there any paperwork for the fact that you've put John Rouge in containment? No, Karen does not have any paperwork for that. That would be paperwork you would have to file.
I don't, but if you need a blank form, a blank copy of the form for putting in a specimen in containment, I can provide that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Sure, just make sure you fill it out in triplicate with blue ink, and she will pull it out, and she will shuffle through her stack of files and hand over 3 copies of a very lengthy intake form.
Does Karen walk around with a binder full of these forms?
Oh, yes. It's like a binder in several file folders.
Got it. So she hands over the form in triplicate for containing a specimen in the containment labs.
There's also other forms, everything from, late reporting in on things to paperwork that was supposed to get done that wasn't get done in all of the chaos. Destruction of saved property, where they've noted that the team has broken things that they shouldn't have. Because, we can't put it on an expense report and get it paid for if nobody reports it properly.
So do I gather from my mention of John being in containment that there is no care about that?
It's less no care and more that she was slightly confused.
So maybe she didn't know.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, it's only been like an hour.
Oh God! Right.
And there's been a lot
Same
of chaos. Like, she may not necessarily know everything that's happened yet.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Is it still only like noon?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I think we said it was
Maybe-
like 1 p.m. last session.
I
at
think
this
so.
point. Yeah.
So she goes through and she just puts stacks upon stacks of paperwork. I guess on the desks. And please make sure that you put your desks back where they go. Thanks very much. Hopefully we'll get all of this sorted out quickly. Also, I really like your flannel.
Thanks.
Always a pleasure, Karen.
It's so nice to see you all getting into the spirit of things.
Yeah, and you can see other people shuffling into the office, super confused. They're just looking around, trying to figure out what to do. Then they realize that their desks are in random places, and people just start moving furniture around.
I really hate it when people touch my desk.
Technically, it wasn't a person this time.
Yeah.
Well,
people
it
just
still
move
made
all-
my desk a mess.
Or do we still have to move our own desks?
That was the implication when Karen said to move your desks back where they go.
Yeah, and it also doesn't look like anyone is moving your desk. People are looking to figure out signs, like, since all of the desks are pretty uniform, there's some confusion and difficulty, but then people can see, like, oh wait, mine had the gum on the bottom because of all the gum that I chew and try to hide from Karen, because gum is definitely not okay in the office. Things like that.
Okay. I'm gonna try and find my desk, which should be pretty easy.
Yes. Yours is relatively easy. You have there's a drawer that's open with a bunch of little, like, pen, like, art figures laying on the ground. It's pretty easy to find your desk.
Okay. I'm just gonna empty out my secret compartment.
Oh, okay.
Hey Frank, you wouldn't happen to have a lighter in there, would you?
I don't see why not. I think I have everything in here.
I don't see why you wouldn't have taken a lighter or two along the way, for sure.
Yeah, I'll pop one out and hand it to you.
Cool, thank you. I'll keep that in mind for later.
The
Where-
scary note from the poltergeist still on my desk.
It has been thrown around in the chaos. It's somewhere for sure, but it's not on your desk.
Okay.
So
but you
we're... Oh, go ahead.
Okay. No, you good.
I was gonna say, so we're all in agreement that we're not doing this paperwork, right?
Obviously.
For
We have
once, I don't want
far
to do
more.
paperwork.
Yeah, we have far more important things going on.
Yeah.
However,
Especially now that there are people here.
I feel like it's going to be difficult to hunt the, things in the walls with the things wearing our meat suits that are in charge of us.
I mean, they seem just as vulnerable to trauma as regular people.
I agree. And given that I asked Karen about John and she didn't know about it yet, I'm assuming that means that they don't have an instant means of communication with one another.
Well, I imagine Karen's not. I'd have to take a guess and say that she's not as in the loop as, say, Worfen or whatever's inside of Alfred.
Or maybe the other two Johns. Where are they?
Jen.
Yeah, have we seen the other Johns recently?
No, you haven't seen the other Johns, not since everyone basically took off out of the office.
Great.
You also didn't see them leading the group of people leaving the office.
Yeah, they're always in their office. And I usually like to check their office pretty regularly, just in case they're out so I can get in there. But John Rouge's office is the only office I've been able to get into because, we broke his knees.
Well, to be clear, you completely obliterated his knees, but yeah.
With a gun.
Maybe I should check the other two
Try it.
John's office.
Are we gonna have to actually talk to the other Johns? On
mean-
purpose?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Can we just immediately get rid of them?
No, because we know they might be infected. And honestly, I really hope they're not, because whatever the fuck that thing was is way less tolerable than John.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah.
If there's enough cover with everybody shuffling around, rearranging the desks, and I don't see Karen anywhere, I'm going to make my way to one of the Johns' office door.
Listen, we can make there be cover.
Oh, nice.
There's a reason I asked if we had a lighter.
Oh. I'm gonna try to just go by and do what I usually do, which is be at the door just to see if there's anyone inside first.
Sure. Well, the doors to the John's offices, the two that you haven't been in yet, they have basically barricades in front of them from all of the cubicle things. People are moving stuff around, but nobody has really started clearing out in front of the John's doors yet. So through a pile of cubicle walls that have been shoved against it, you don't really hear anything, but that doesn't mean much because there's there's 3 layers of cubicle in the way.
Okay.
There's also some people are trying to reestablish cubicles and they realize they are not going to be able to rebuild them, so they're just kind of placing their desks in where the relative location of the desk was before.
Okay.
There's a few desks that haven't been moved because of the lack of people. Not everyone has come back in yet, but also because, there are 4 injured people somewhere about this office that you left unattended.
Probably outside of the office, because I got taken to the hospital.
Oh, that's right. They
gave
got
them to
taken to the
Becker.
hospital. That's right. And Becker had his family take them away. Right. So there are
Well,
4
yeah.
individuals that won't be coming back to the office.
I
anytime soon.
appreciate you phrasing it like that, Scott. Make it seem like they're definitely not getting taken to a farm upstate. They're not getting spider mimosas.
So, people are starting to there are still people coming in through the front, and they're all just confused. Some of them are having the same kind of discussion. Are we actually going to do the paperwork? Was this really a test? And they look around, they're like, wow, this is a really intense test. etc. You get that sort of mumbling going around as people are moving stuff. So, Frankie, now that you've spent time listening, what do you think?
I mean, if we think it's worth me getting in there, I want to get in there. But what do we think?
I think it's worth it if we can, especially if we can get the drop on what's going on.
Now, there might be another phone and possibly another John possessed.
Let's hope not. And if there is, then how good are you with that gun?
Oh, really good. Yeah, super good. I've been,
It's a shotgun. You just point and shoot. You don't even have to aim at them. Just get close.
Yeah, I was given a tutorial. Pretty sure I can do it.
So you need a distraction, or are we gonna just try to do this in the chaos of everybody moving shit?
Yeah, we're gonna have to move all of this stuff, unless this is like organized in a way where I can slip through by like crawling under a couple of desks and some cubicles.
Well, this is an interesting predicament. There's no such thing as a luck roll to determine whether or not you can slip through them, but I do have a bunch of tokens over here that maybe we can turn one or something if you wanted to see if it's organized in such a way as to be beneficial to you.
How long would it take me just to move everything?
Oh, not long. You'd just be moving a bunch of stuff around.
Okay. Well, how about we make that the plan? You guys look out for Karen. And I'll move stuff. And once I get to the door, I think I'll just try to stealthily peek in. And then I won't
Again, if you can get to it, unplug the phone. It won't stop whatever's inside, but it will hopefully stop him from checking it.
Good point. Okay.
And that's easier than trying to get it out of there without it falling off the hook.
Sounds like a plan. Frankie is going to basically just shove the stuff in front of the door enough so that she can squeeze in to get to the doorknob.
Okay. Well then, let's have you. Are you gonna you're trying to sneak in? Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's make a stealth roll for you. But I mean, you have 130%, so you should be able to do it. Just a question on how well you do in comparison to somebody, say, listening or sitting in the office.
Nice.
59.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So you managed to get through all this stuff and get to the point where you can like stealthily open the door. You managed to do your thing that you do, turn the knob in such a way that doesn't make noise, crack the door open, and you see which John were you trying to see?
Ooh, which John did we want to go to?
I think I'm going to do the green one first.
Let's look into John Veer.
There it is.
Okay. You see him. He seems to be looking through a bunch of paperwork. He looks haggard. His hair is all messy. His tie is pulled down a little bit, and he's reading. He's got a binder open in front of him, and he's reading something from the binder, but he seems to be having trouble. He's like scribbling out things, like he's trying to translate a foreign language.
Oh. I'm assuming he hasn't noticed me, so I'm just going to back out.
Does not look up.
Bit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And look back at Kayla and Amy. I'm just going to like gesture with my finger. What do I do?
Great. Fuck.
We probably should have thought this out beforehand.
Does he seem to be weird? Because that was the only contingency we planned for, was either him not being there or him being weird.
Yeah. I'm gonna squeeze my head in because I didn't close the door. And I'm gonna try to, look around, particularly, what he's looking at on his desk. I don't know how far he is from me, so I don't know how well I'd be able to see, but I'm trying to basically see if he's writing the same stuff or trying to translate the same language that we saw John in the cell writing in his own blood.
Okay, it's gonna be a bit difficult from your angle, but you can try. That's probably gonna be some kind of perception-y thing, so perception, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll go ahead and turn one of these tokens over here to the light side. And you can absolutely see what he's working on at his desk. From the angle you're looking at, he appears to be trying to translate the strange message that was in the binder that Becker shared with you regarding how to deal with a containment. He's not making a whole lot of progress. You can tell that he was not expecting to find that the how to deal with a lockdown situation to be in ciphered text based on the way that he's sort of stressfully trying to work it out. And on his desk, you see just that his phone is there and there's a blinking red light indicating that he has a voicemail.
Okay. I'm gonna make a sudden move. I'm gonna look back at Amy and Kayla, and I'm gonna try to just give you guys a look, and then I'm gonna slip into the room and close the door behind me.
This was none of the things planned for. Amy, full on looked at Kayla, was like, what?
This feels like a bad idea. I guess we can't stop her.
No, we can't. I don't do.
Should we follow her in so that
Yeah,
just
probably.
in case? Yeah, I'm gonna go in.
Okay. All right. Frankie, you come into the room, and even though you're pretty stealthy, you did enter an enclosed space with a boss who's sitting at a desk working on some paperwork. So as you come in, he doesn't necessarily notice you initially, but then the door pops open behind you as Kayla comes in, and he looks up, and then he can see the both of you standing there.
And then Amy pops her head over Kayla's shoulder.
I'm gonna just try to ignore them and rush to his desk, and I'm simply gonna lean over his desk and be like, John, and I'm gonna put my hand close to the phone, but not on it. And I'm just gonna try and get him to focus on me. John.
Hello, Frankie?
Yes.
Did you need something? Did you have a clue to the lockdown?
Oh, lockdown. Sounds it.
No, but I just wanted to see how you were doing. Been a while since anyone's seen you. Been in here by yourself. Been some things happening. Have you not heard the things happening outside?
You mean the lockdown? Yes, our doors lock with the lockdown. We are locked in, and so I was trying to find the solution. But it seems.
Look over at the phone. It's plugged in?
It is plugged in.
I'm just gonna run over and rip it out the socket rip the cord out.
The cord or the whole phone?
Just the cord. I'm not gonna touch the phone.
Okay. So you go and you yank. It's strangely resistant for a second. These things don't usually just yank out, but after like your second hard pull, you tear it free.
Okay. I'm gonna be between John and the phone as much as possible, and just look at Kayla and Amy.
Frankie, what are you doing? Destruction of property. I'm sorry, but this is gonna have to be a write-up. You're destroying the building.
I'm gonna ignore him.
I need you to understand one thing real quick. Please just fucking listen to me. That whole lockdown was a test put on by Warfin to test us and Alfred, because he's got some sort of crackpot plan to fucking replace us and start infiltrating the world, apparently, with unknown. And I know that sounds fucking insane. We have John Rouge down in the basement, down in containment, because he's been taken over by some extra-dimensional creature. I'm apparently getting a promotion, which I don't understand.
Yeah, yes, I heard that there was a potential promotion amongst your team group.
Okay, let's just all take a step back. No
But
offense.
hold on, no, this does sound very crazy, though. You do understand what you're saying, that it just sounds crazy. Our boss has been leading this organization for many years.
John, there were zombies in the stairwell about 2 hours ago.
Zombies in the stairwell. Did they get out of containment?
Yep. Everything in containment broke out.
Hold on, I there's no way that this can be it. Hold on, I've got to make a phone call, and he reaches
Do not pick up
around
that
you.
phone.
No.
I'm gonna hold them.
What? Frankie, let go of me. I am your superior.
John.
So John Rouge, he listened to his voicemail and got possessed by an interdimensional being. And then Alfred listened to a voicemail and also got possessed by an interdimensional being. So I don't think you want to listen to a voicemail right now.
But,
Okay, I am going to try to just hopefully convince him to simply trust us, regardless of if he believes us or not.
Mm-hmm.
What's important is to simply not use the phone. Okay? We'll just talk it out. You know, we're all here.
You remember how our office's whole thing is that the unknown can utilize technology to their advantage?
Yes.
And that's why we don't use technology for the most part?
Yes.
This is kind of an example of them doing exactly that.
Yeah.
He looks at his phone. He looks back at all of you. And then he seems to stop resisting Frankie holding him. And he says, I think we need to maybe find out what's going on then. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, that's... We have to try to figure it out.
I mean, I think we kind of already know what's happening. There are things coming out of the phone and taking over people, and we kind of already have a list of people they've already taken over.
And we have an idea of what's happening, but we don't actually know what's happening. We don't even know what we're actually dealing with. All we know is it's not human.
Also, one other thing we need to be worried about is there is a Bloody Bones currently in our vents.
Oh, yeah, stay away from the vents.
Yeah.
He looks at the vent that's right next to his desk, and he shifts in his chair slightly.
I mean,
this is all disturbing information you're presenting. I think I need to consult with I guess John Blanc, because John Rouge is possessed.
Right. We were gonna check on him next.
Yep. He was our next.
Do you want to walk with us?
Yes, of course. That's fine. We can check on Blanc together. Is anyone else in the office showing signs of interdimensional possession?
So far, the only ones confirmed are John Rouge and Alfred. However, both the intern and Karen are some flavor of unknown. I don't know what, but there's something going on, and they seem to be working with Worfen.
Well, of course they work for Worfen. We all work for Worfen.
Yeah, but in the more sinister sense.
So you believe that our boss, the leader of this regional office, who has been in charge of this regional office and has taken out a number of unknown, is actually somehow unknown himself?
It could be a recent thing. Like I said, they're taking people over. The one in John Rouge has been here for about 23 hours.
Interesting.
Which is strange. How, like, you're all fine. But I guess you haven't been near your phone.
There was a voicemail when I came into the office this morning, but I was too busy because upon setting down my briefcase, the lockdown began, and I was trying to figure out how to get out of my office because I've really actually needed to go to the bathroom for a few hours now.
Careful, there's a leak.
Also,
There's
there's a bunch of
always
desks
leaks.
in front of your door, so I don't know how you were gonna get out.
Oh, well, the door itself was locked. That was the first thing I tried, so I was considering knocking the wall down beside it, but then I realized they're reinforced, and so that's nearly impossible.
Wait, your door was locked?
Yes.
Yeah,
Didn't I say
their
that?
doors get locked when the lockdown triggers, apparently. Which is good in the case of somebody breaking in. Less good in the case that we need to lock down for anything else, though.
Yeah, that's
Well,
a bad
certainly-
lockdown procedure.
Considering that you're saying zombies broke from containment, and he reaches for his coffee that's sitting on his desk. He goes to take a sip.
Slap out his hand.
Jesus Christ.
That was brought to me by the intern. It has my name on it.
Oh, good. Yeah, no. Frankie, you did the right thing.
John, listen
Oh,
to
but-
us.
Hey,
We
John, by
did
the way.
already tell you that the intern's unknown, right?
Secret coffee shop on the second floor, down a hallway. It's a fucking broom closet, apparently.
Yeah. Okay.
Stick
We
with
should
us,
we
there, John.
should talk with John Blanc and perhaps see what
Yeah.
we can do for you, and maybe consider consulting Karen for some
Swear to God, if
potential
you tell me to go
evaluation.
speak to Psych,
What aren't you understanding, John?
I'm just trying to wrap my head around all that you're saying. You're saying that that zombies work out of containment. That I can believe, for I knew that we had zombies in the containment area. We've been collecting them over time now, as well as the bloody blows. I believe that because we did have one. Then there was Bob, and then there was the hag, I believe, or whatever that thing was that pretended to be a hag that we weren't entirely sure, which is why it was in containment.
that's yelled at Alfred.
So those things, I believe that those are loose. But you want me to believe that a broom closet is an interdimensional portal to a coffee shop? You know, let's go look for ourselves and see if we can confirm this information.
I'm gonna look
Yeah,
at Amy
sure.
and Kayla. I'm gonna kind of be like, I feel like this guy's kind of a liability.
Amy,
Think
just
we would-
nod.
I think we would rather be able to keep an eye on him.
We should
I think
go
that'd
get.
probably be best.
We should go get John Blanc.
I am
first.
right here. And he looks at the group of you.
We continue to talk about it. Like, anyway, so how about we go out and I'll do the same thing. I'll go check Blanc's room. I'll do a peek, see where he's at, and then we'll go from there. We'll kind of do the same plan.
So this time, do we have a plan if he's actually in the office? Because we didn't discuss that beforehand.
I feel like this plan went really
I
well.
think we just try to talk to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if I can figure out if he's normal, I guess that was my immediate plan, was to go in and at least disable the phone so that he couldn't pick it up, and then we can just talk to him, hopefully in his room. However, what I'm really looking for is if he's not normal.
You just want to shoot somebody.
Yes. What type of question is that? I have a whole shotgun. I haven't even used it yet.
That wasn't a question. That was a statement.
I don't know if you need a shotgun, Frankie.
I disagree. I think I definitely need a shotgun.
You want to shoot someone, and I think that's a little bit of a problem. Do you see where I see the problem?
I can see where the problem is, Kayla. Good point.
No one's talking to you, John. Keep it down, please. We're trying to have a conversation.
John's right.
Okay. I'm gonna go and check Blanc's room, see if he's in there, hopefully able to tell from a distance if he's corrupted or not. And so
okay.
you two can bring John out, and I would watch him like a hawk, because I feel like if Karen gets her teeth into him, he's gonna flip. Look how squishy he is.
And Amy's gonna turn to Kayla, just be like, by the way, that math you saw, please stop trying to solve it. I don't know what the answer's gonna do, but I feel like it can't be good for us.
If we find out the answer, then we might be able to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, but you also might introduce some sort of extra-dimensional horror beyond the likes of what we've ever seen and blow this entire mountain up.
That's a good point, but consider...
to solve the same equation?
He had it written in his book. I just wanted to see if I could figure out the answer.
Interesting. I mean...
I don't know if it's the same one that he has down in containment, but it's one that was in his office.
I know what that looked like, right? What he was writing in containment. If I looked at it, would I be able to tell if it's the same?
Yeah, you also saw it when you guys were searching the office before. It was all over the place, and Kayla was sort of gathering them all up and putting them together and then starting to work out that it was an equation while you were rummaging through his desk and finding like bourbon and stuff.
Okay, so we know it's the same.
Yeah, it looks very similar. If not like exactly the same, then like he's progressing, still trying to answer that equation, like trying to write it out and solve it.
What if the answer, can be like reverse engineered to like solve the problem too?
We have far more immediate problems than trying to solve this problem, which this extra-dimensional creature can't even solve, apparently.
I will continue working on the math after we talk to Blanc.
Cool. You can do it. You're a genius.
Okay, so you go to leave Veeres' office to go look for Blanc, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. As you open the door to the office that you were in to go back out, kind of, scoot through all of the mess, you find that some of it has been removed. It's not quite so in your way, but there's a person standing there.
Oh, I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, be disappointed all you want, Karen.
Well, unfortunately, I've been timing you, and I think we're up to 2 strikes already for you being away from your desks when everybody was supposed to get their desks back into place and report to them. And none of the paperwork that was supposed to be done has been taken care of.
Very important that we talk to John here so that we could figure out exactly what he would like us to write and just discuss the issues that we've encountered so far today.
Yeah, he wasn't even aware that the lockdown was over, so If anything, we're doing a service by making sure that he knows.
It's very sweet that you think that. Unfortunately, John isn't in charge of the HR paperwork that I had handed over to you earlier. So
That's correct. I can confirm that Karen is correct on that. I am not in charge of that paperwork. She is.
John, my guy.
But John is in charge of the other paperwork that we were supposed to be doing and haven't been able to get done yet due to the lockdown today.
Yes, but I handed you a great number of things and was very explicit about the expectation that people need to get their desks back into place and need to sit and actually work on their paperwork and stay at their desks until told otherwise.
I promise we'll get to that, but for now we're going to work with John here and figure out exactly what he would like to see us do, as he is our direct supervisor.
Yes, well, Mr. Worfen is his supervisor. So when Mr. Worfen gives an order, everybody should really be keeping to it. And anyway, I have paperwork for John to work on anyway, so this all works out because I can take care of all of this at the same time. Here are your write-ups. Just go ahead and sign these for me. Don't even have to go back to your desk. I brought up an extra pen. And then John and I are going to have our discussion about your performance.
Frankie touches her shotgun. Please. I just need the order.
Frankie? That might seem a little threatening. We're not going to...
This does seem a bit like a hostile work environment right now. Do I need to do another write-up for you, Miss Ashford? I've already gotten some odd questions about people looking over when the desks were being put back and seeing things that look suspiciously like they're missing belongings in your drawers.
Again, Karen, you know what else might make this a hostile work environment? The thing that eats children crawling around in the vents, waiting at any moment to pop out, because it doesn't just eat children. And it hasn't been fed in, let's see, months.
We have people working on that. You are expected back at your desk, Miss Veeres.
At this point, there's some sudden popping that comes from the far end of the office, and someone falls down holding their eye, and they start shouting in pain. The sound seemed to be coming from the break room.
Oh.
Sounds like your teams are doing a bang-up job.
Yeah, that sounds like...
I think you might need to check on that.
Return to your desks. Now.
Sure.
Mr. Rouge, could you come with me, please?
I'm actually the green one.
I apologize. I'm sorry. That was out of character. That was my fuck up. She would know better because they're color coded.
She would know better. He's wearing a green tie.
I can't keep them. I can't keep track of them. Yes.
Welcome to the office, Karen.
Listen. BP is tired. John, could you please come with me?
Yes, I can come with you.
Thank you very much.
He looks at the three of you and kind of gives like a knowing nod wink, but then also looks at Karen and gives a knowing nod wink. And then starts to go with Karen.
I don't think there's any idea what the fuck you...
Well, 2 Johns down. Let's go see about Blanc. See if we can one of these guys.
He might not even be fucking worth it at this point.
I know.
If Ver had the voicemail on his phone when he got here, then I wouldn't be surprised if Blanc has already listened to it and is already gone, so...
I agree, but if he is gone, or if he is messed up, I do want to know where he is. I was actually surprised that Vert was even in his room. These guys are weird.
There's now the sound of a crash and a bang coming from the break room. People have backed up, and then someone says, "Are those ants?"
What is happening in this place?
Later. First, we're gonna focus on Blanc.
Yeah. I'm gonna do the same thing I did. I'm gonna go to him, move things out of the way so that I can get to the door, see if there's anybody inside.
Okay. As you move some things out of the way and you slip into, or you open the door gently and quietly, you find John Blanc sitting at his desk, and he's writing on a piece of paper.
Okay. I want to do the same thing. I want to check if the writing is normal or if he's trying to figure out that equation.
Okay. Please use the help command. AIs.
70.
Okay, I mean, that's still a low success, right?
Yeah.
Gotta remember the correct commands here. I've been using some other bots all week. Oh, yep. Once again, he doesn't see you.
Nice. Can I tell what he's writing?
Yeah, you can. Well, you're gonna have to make a perception roll from your angle again, but you can definitely stare at him quietly inside of his room.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. I kind of want to see if he's doing the same thing. If he's just trying to figure out the lockdown because he also doesn't know what's happening, or if he's trying to solve that mathematical equation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me do perception.
Yeah.
Okay. No, 85.
From your angle, you can't quite see what he's doing. He's writing something though. He's writing a note. He doesn't have the binder open in front of him at all. He's just writing something in some paper on his desk.
And I can't tell. Can I tell?
Not from
if
this
the phone
this place. Can you tell if the phone? Sorry, go ahead.
is blinking?
The phone is not blinking a voicemail.
Mm.
Well, keep in mind that Rouge's phone was still blinking with a voicemail when Alfred answered it.
That's true.
Okay. I'm already in the room.
You are. You could get closer if you wanted to.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get closer. I'm gonna try and just inch close as quietly as possible, just so that I get close enough to see exactly what he's working on before I announce myself.
Sure. Make that stealth roll one more time for me to see how well you do. It'd be nice if I did the actual correct
yes,
command,
a
wouldn't it?
1S100.
Well, it was a tie. So I think that he probably notices you the same time you get close enough to see what he's doing, but not in a way that he notices you, just that he realizes he's not alone in the room.
Okay.
You get close enough and you can see that he's writing out a very complex math equation.
Okay.
But he's doing it very small, whereas John Rouge wrote it like one figure on each piece of paper in dark ink and stuff. He's writing it out like he's writing a letter in very small handwriting.
Okay.
And he starts to look up.
Oh, so go ahead.
Oh, he starts to look up because he's starting to notice he's not alone in the room.
I wouldn't at this point know if he's like Kayla, like if he maybe found it and he's just trying to figure it out like her, or if he's like John Rouge.
Correct. You would not be able to determine that. Exactly. You'd have to talk to him first.
Okay, well I think I'm gonna make another quick decision. All by myself.
Womp womp.
Because I think it worked out really well last time. So I'm pretty sure that's exactly how it's gonna go this time. I'm gonna go ahead and whip out my shotgun and aim it at his head.
Okay. So he looks up at you. Yeah, he looks up at you just in time for the shotgun to come into his face. and he blinks down it.
John, how are you doing?
Would be better if there wasn't a shotgun in my face.
I'm gonna remember my training and cock it. What are you working on?
Some math that you couldn't possibly understand. Because it's complicated, Frankie, and last I checked, you didn't have a good understanding of math.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. Have you gotten any voicemails today?
Well, not usually the one who gets voicemails. We usually don't really leave voicemails, do we? We just inter-office memos, don't we?
Have you picked up your phone today, John?
Have you picked up your phone today, Frankie?
John, it's back and forth. You know, it's not helping your case. I'm trying.
I mean, you're the one with a shotgun in my face.
Well, I'm trying not to shoot you. Trying.
You know, I think that maybe you should see a counselor. This lockdown seems to have affected you quite a bit.
What are you even doing in here? Lockdown's over.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Been like an hour or something. We were about to order pizza, you know?
Were we?
Mm-hmm. Have a group lunch. You didn't get that memo?
I did not.
Why don't you come out with us then?
Would you put the shotgun down?
Nope.
Interesting. You always are or have been the impulsive one, haven't you been, Frankie?
How would you know? Have you actually been paying attention to what I do?
I am your direct superior.
I've always not liked you, John. You know?
That was a double negative. So are you saying you have liked me, Frankie?
If I can't tell
You cannot.
what's going on with him, I am going to...
You know, why don't you make a little bit of a roll for me? See if we can see if your brain starts to work a little bit. Roll focus for me if you could. It's not bad. You're not super bad at it. But you rolled really badly. I will not give you any hints in any way to help you figure this one out.
I'm gonna move my shotgun down to his leg, John. My guy, I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna have to take a knee if you can't prove to me that you don't have an alien living inside of you.
An alien?
Yeah,
Some kind of extraterrestrial from outer space living inside of my body? How would I prove that to you? It cut my hand and it doesn't bleed acid?
Do aliens bleed? I don't know that answer. John, just do something. Would I know what he needs to do to prove it to me?
I mean, what do you think he needs to do to prove it to you? I mean, this is really a you question at this point. You went in with very little plan, so...
Yeah. And it's going swimmingly.
Yeah.
I know John Rouge knew about the test, and Karen knows about the test. So I guess I will try to see if he's okay with a test that would kill people that work here.
Mm-hmm.
So you're aware we passed the test.
I think that you're pointing a gun at my knee, so you didn't pass the psychological test.
Well, actually, I'm actually pointing a loaded and ready to fire shotgun at your knee. So just remember that. But the question
makes it a little better, doesn't it?
It does. I think so. The question was, do you know we passed the test?
It depends on what test you're referring to. There have been several since you've been working for SAVE.
Well, the one that was done today.
The lockdown.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Warfin announced that it was simply a test and that it is complete now.
The lockdown.
Yes. Sometimes we test our field agents in intense situations to see if they can handle the stress and to see how they react to various stressors. If you are the ones that removed the lockdown, then you would have passed the test.
I see. And this test is fine if we, accidentally or didn't accidentally killed a couple people.
Did you kill some of your office mates?
Great question. Would that be a problem?
If it suggests that you have an underlying trauma psychosis, then that would be a problem.
I'm gonna keep my gun ready, but I'm gonna remove it. I'm gonna stop pointing it at him.
Uh-huh.
I can't tell if you're an alien thing or not, John, but as much as I really want to shoot someone, I'm not gonna shoot you today.
Well, that's good to hear.
So you're welcome. And I'll go over to the door and motion for Amy and Kayla to come in.
So as you turn around and go to the door, John grabs his phone and dives under his desk, and you can hear him making a phone call.
God dang it. I will go out of the door and close it. Well, I think
Becker's phone is ringing in the other part of the office.
Yeah, I'll just go over to Amy and Kayla then.
Okay.
So, that went really well.
Yeah, did it now?
Yep. He may be making a call to someone right now. So.
Okay, question. Did Frankie put the gun away or just lower it?
I just lowered
it, right? Yeah.
Frankie, why are you holding your gun?
Now, don't get mad.
Feeling that you're gonna make me mad right now.
You have to promise you're not gonna get mad.
I can't
So you
promise
didn't shoot
that.
because I didn't hear it. Did you threaten to shoot John?
I may have or may not have threatened to shoot John, but in my
Why?
defense, I couldn't tell if he was regular or not. I kind of still can't, but I didn't.
Then maybe you should have asked for help.
Well, I was kind of being stealthy. It's very
Maybe you
difficult
shouldn't
to
have
be
immediately
stealthy.
jumped to gun.
Okay, we could all stand here and talk about my poor decisions, but I think at the moment, what's more important is that we figure out what's going on with the John that's left. Because if he's not taken over by the things, then
he might be about to
confused.
get eaten by ants.
He's about to get eaten by ants?
I don't know, somebody in the break room yelled something about ants.
Miss Ashford, and Becker is there, his gun is drawn, safety is off, and he is pointing it at you. I need you to come with me.
Mm-hmm. This about the...
Can we all put
shotgun
the
and
guns
thing.
down?
I'm not putting my gun down.
Becker, please put your gun down. I understand that John probably just called you and said something about threatening being shot, and that Frankie probably needs a psychological evaluation, which, yeah, I agree, but it's not for this, it's probably for kleptomania.
Hey.
But you understand what's going on here. You were with us when we spoke with Rude. Or Waka, or whatever the fuck it's calling itself.
Yeah. I also understand that she just threatened that. I also understand that earlier before, you were talking about burning this place down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're still on that train. Listen, if you want me to go with you, I will. And I can fill you in on, the other John, I guess. But I mean, if you're gonna take me somewhere to, fill out paperwork, I think we both know I'm not filling out that paperwork.
No, it's not going to be paperwork this time.
That's
The shotgun.
No, you can't take my shotgun. I just got it.
The shotgun, Miss Ashford.
I'll hand him the shotgun.
Thank you. Come on.
Didn't even get to shoot it. I'll follow them.
Okay. There are some rooms near the front for this very purpose, Becker, for isolating threats where the rest of the security team can come and escort them off the property. They're not closed spaces. There are glass windows and, glass on them so you can see into them, make sure they're not screwing with stuff while they're in there if you are not in there with them. And also so that the security staff can know which door to go into so they don't just go, well, we got to open a door and find out if you are in there with them.
Okay, so first things first. Please have a seat.
She says.
For Amy and Kayla, he leads Frankie into this small room that you've always wondered what exactly those rooms are for. They just seem to be empty rooms with chairs.
This is bad.
Becker is going to then unload the shotgun. Clear the
Easy.
chamber and keep it broken open.
Okay.
Before the questioning fully starts, I want to ask just at least one question. What the fuck was going through your head when you decided to point a gun at him?
I don't know. Seemed like a good idea at the time. My plans usually work out really well.
So
that's very rare.
Your plan was to draw a gun on one of our bosses who
Well,
might
Becker-
possibly be unknown.
You're not getting the full picture. I mean, yes, I could have done other things, but anyway, we had just left John Veeres' office. He's been taken away by Karen. And he was normal. I did not point a gun at him. I was able to figure that out beforehand. So I was hoping that he was normal, but I couldn't figure out if he was normal. So just in case he wasn't normal, I was going to shoot his niece and then probably drag him down to where John Rouge is and put them both in the same cell. So as you can see, I had a pretty foolproof plan. It was not.
How do you mean you couldn't determine whether or not he was normal, though?
Well,
You determined it with Rouge.
Well, yes, because
There's a knock at the door.
Becker goes over and opens it.
Is she here?
She's here.
Perfect. Thank you, Becker. You can go now.
I'm going to be putting the shotgun in my desk.
Of course.
And he leaves.
And as the door closes in the glass room, leaving Karen and Frankie alone. So,
Okay, Scott, I have a very important question.
mhm.
One, is the door that Frankie and Karen are in locked?
Yes. Are we back from break?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The my stream is showing the screen still, so I was just checking. Okay. The door is not locked. I don't think it would be locked, but it is right in front of Becker's desk.
Well, okay. Okay.
Okay.
I'm
I might be
trying.
able to get us in there.
Oh boy.
I can just make us look like security and we can walk right in. Should be fine.
That might work.
Yeah.
Is that how that power works?
I basically can like walk in, and as long as I don't interact with anyone, the like rouge will or whatever will still be up. But because I'm still a beginner, I can't interact with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you would make an attempt to do your thing. Visual effects discipline from end of the scene. The player tanked out. Appears to belong to the environment. Does not attract attention. Okay, yeah, I get it. You appear to be someone like an office worker or a janitor or a police officer at a crime scene. Something that just looks like you should be there. That's what it does. And as long as you don't interact with anything, then you kind of just appear to be someone who should be there. So you would, yeah, you could appear as a member of the security team that's helping Karen or something.
Based on the rules interpretation, would I be able to like grab Frankie's arm and walk her out? Or would that break it?
Probably break it, since you're not really allowed to interact with anything, per se.
Yeah, I'd say that would bring attention to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they're like, wait, you're not a member of the security team.
All right.
Think of it like
Do
in a lot of the movies where somebody's like pretending like their head's ducked down and they're wearing a hat and no one seems to notice that they are not a member of the security team. And then there's that moment where as soon as they do something, everyone looks at them and they're like, hey, wait a minute, this is the person we're looking for. You know, that kind of scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we want to try that or just come up with a different plan?
Oh, we can try that. Or we can do this the objectively worst way and cause so many problems.
I mean, it'll cause problems anyway, but it won't cause problems as we walk into the room. Just if we try to do anything while we're there.
Problem is, none of us are great at fighting.
Mhm.
We don't know what Karen is capable of.
That's true.
But we also have to save Frankie before she has whatever the fuck Karen does happen to her. So,
Maybe to Becker first. He left the room, right?
Yeah, he did. He's back at his desk. He's securing something underneath his desk.
Since the unknown to see if Becker's still like normal.
yeah. And also, I would like to also find where that fucking poltergeist is.
Oh yeah, that's another
Because
thing.
he's just
we wanna do.
wandering around here. He's just watching.
That is
It's
a
the-
failure for Since the Unknown.
Okay.
That's a high success.
High success.
Tell me the unknown, Scott.
A high success. That generally gives you the unknown and some good information about them, right? All right. Well, first things first. Becker seems normal. Nothing there. But there is a ghost in the first floor. They're in a corner of the room, seemingly watching everything going on. And just staying there for a little while. For whatever reason, they seem to be subdued or submissive at the moment. They're not actively trying to poltergeist anything.
Okay.
So, what do you want to do? And after you decide, I'm going to enter the examination room, depending on what you do. So either you're in there or not.
Amy's
I feel
just
like
gonna.
they've spent quite a bit of time talking, so there should at least be a couple minutes before they show
Oh,
up.
there will be. There will be. Yes, there will be before they do whatever it is they're going to do. That's why I want to know what they plan to
Yeah,
do.
Amy's just gonna turn to Kayla and just say, "Okay, Becker's normal." So he's just following orders, which isn't great, but we should talk to him. One of us
Yeah.
should talk to him. The other might go break into the room.
I'd be better at breaking into the room, but I also want to talk to Becker. Which
Yeah,
would
you're-
you rather do?
You're better at talking to people.
You
All right. I will do that then.
Okay. So you're going to distract Becker, essentially, while Amy gets in the room.
Yes.
Okay. Then we're going to go into the room and see what's happening to Frankie, and after a little while, Amy will come bursting in. We'll figure out a dramatic point for that to happen. So,
Well, Miss Ashford. You know, I had very high hopes for you.
Oh, thanks.
It's a pity you've turned out to be so disappointing. Scott, while we are talking, I would like to use the third thing on my sheet.
okay. Frankie, please make a current willpower roll for me if you could.
Mm-hmm. 87.
Interesting. Okay.
Sorry, I need to roll, don't I?
That's fine. I took care of it for you, but you succeeded because I did something else in the background.
Okay.
Right, you flipped a token.
I did. Did you hear it?
No, that's kind of the only thing you can do that would affect things like this.
Yeah. She failed by 3, so I flipped a token.
Jesus. Maybe I should roll for me.
Maybe you should. Maybe you should.
So, before we get to the gun part, there's some other, we'll call them concerns that some of your coworkers have been having. Apparently, when everybody was trying to sort out whose desk was whose, you had to open up your drawers, and a few people saw things in them that they're pretty sure belong to them. Would you like to tell me about that? And I'd like to use the first thing on my sheet.
Oh, well, firstly, let's clarify what the third thing did to Frankie before you decide what to use.
I'm sorry.
The first thing, before you use the first thing on your sheet. Frankie, as she asks you the question, you get to share with us all of your emotions and thoughts, because for the rest of the scene, Karen will know them. You also have a -30 to all your scores to try to deceive or surprise her. And she also knows all of your social drawbacks, so, go ahead and share this with us as necessary.
Mental and social, but yes.
Yeah. Mental and social, all of your drawbacks.
I think I'm just infamous.
Yes, you are infamous.
I don't really have many drawbacks.
You don't. You just have infamous,
Yeah.
but you have a really extreme infamy. Like, you're a well-known burglar.
Well known, yeah. But everybody knows that.
Yeah, you don't really hide it, so you're leading into your infamy for sure.
What about your emotions and thoughts?
Oh, Frankie
Yes.
feels like she would like to jump over the table and stab you. She 100% hates you and wants to kill you and wish she had her shotgun. It's not necessarily anger. It's just kind of like she's like daydreaming about it. Kind of like offhandedly. And she's highly, highly annoyed that she even has to sit here.
Okay.
And so remember, as you think about any answers you give, consider the fact that you also have to continue sharing the thoughts that are behind them because of the fact that she can read them.
Okay. And I have a -30 on deception.
Correct.
Jeez.
Deception and surprise.
Yep. So if you try to lunge over the table at her, you have a -30 to your attempt to do it.
Good to know.
For example. Yep.
So are we doing the first thing now?
Yeah, you can.
Excellent. I'm gonna roll this time. I think she has to roll her current willpower again.
I'm rolling.
Oh, yes. Yep, sorry. Willpower.
I don't know if that's a high or low success, but I know it's a success.
80.
Sorry. Answering your question. All right. Current willpower? No, that would be a failure for her.
Yeah.
For Frankie. Yeah.
Right, I was saying mostly mine. I don't know what that
yours is
qualifies
yours
as, 'cause it was
is
significantly lower.
It's a low success. It's a low success because it's not half. So it's So it's a low success, which means compared to the failure, you win again. So you have that win category that you get there.
Okay. So Frankie needs to make a horror resolve roll, and then confess all of the relevant details about a sin that they have committed. I assume it's meant to be the sin that I ask about, but
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so I'm making a resolve.
Yes.
So, current willpower.
Current willpower.
Fail.
Fail indeed. So now you're afraid of her, and you get to confess all the details about stealing stuff from other people around the office.
Okay. It's not very detailed, but she'll tell her that, yeah, she steals things every day. Several times a day. Just depends on what she touches with her fingers. It doesn't really matter what it is.
and to be clear, you also go into like, I stole this from this guy and this from that guy, because you
Right. All
of the
relevant details.
all of
Would I
relevant. Yeah.
remember all of that?
Whatever you can remember, you would share with her. Like, we
Okay.
don't have to go into deep details unless you want to go into deep details about the
Yeah, I
things you
think she
stole.
would only go into details about things she steals regularly. But
List Bill's keys a dozen
yeah,
times.
which is like fills things on the daily because it's a part of her routine. So she'll really talk about what her routine looks like, and that will include stealing things here, but also stealing things outside. And she'll just be like, "Well, I mean, you know,
Coffee pots from time to time.
Yep, coffee pot, all of the things." She loves to try and get into people's offices. She hates that all the offices are locked. She took a bottle of whiskey from Rouge's desk, drank that already.
I am taking notes on everything that she confesses to having stolen from people, but I'm especially, and I'm going to like say it out loud when I do. I'm talking about the fact that she keeps stealing keys to get into the facility. And that presents a security risk.
Mm-hmm. Sure does. Plus, Phil was on your shit list because of how many times he couldn't find his keys and had to do extra work to get in.
Indeed, and now I'm gonna have to go back to Phil and inform him of where his keys have been going. We'll have to clear that up. So there's a lot of that. And she's afraid of me right now.
Correct.
Okay. I don't know if I want to do anything else power-wise, because I have to make you turn a token every time I do, and I don't know what the tokens look like right now.
You currently don't have any. You've turned all of my tokens.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
excellent.
I didn't know. You should have said something.
Oh no, it's fine.
Thank
I
you,
Karen.
know. It's a very caring
She's
thing to
scared
do.
of me.
But yeah, no, I mean, I've throughout most of this campaign, the tokens have been turning dark, and I've barely been using them. So it's time someone used them.
I would also, if at all possible, because I can read her mind,
Mhm.
and I don't need her to really confess things. I just want to talk. I just want to talk about the whole pointing a gun at people and the things that they think they know and whatever, so that I can pick up on the details.
Yeah. Yeah, and because you can read her emotions and thoughts for the scene, and we're in the scene.
She doesn't have to say it out loud.
Nope. So yeah, Frankie, however much you want to describe, she's gonna know everything. So Karen will be completely up to speed on everything that you know or understand about what's happening. But go ahead and share with the audience at home so that they can get caught up if they didn't already know.
You want to know specifically about the gun and my decisions for using?
So basically, Karen is going to ask some very leading questions in order to get your mind onto learning what the group knows,
Okay.
what the group has accomplished, has planned, that sort of thing.
Yeah, like why'd you point the gun at John? And then it's going to obviously bring up the fact that you thought he was an extra-dimensional creature, like that kind of thing.
And why would you think that he's an extra-dimensional creature? And oh, where did you hear that silly rumor about John Rouge and all that other stuff? So,
Well, because we have John in the containment room. I told you that.
I'm curious as to what made you think that was necessary, and why you wouldn't immediately report to somebody that you had shot him.
Who shot him? I didn't shoot him.
That was Alfred.
Alfred shot him. Yeah, Alfred shot him.
I meant you as in the group, but yes.
Yeah.
On the broad strokes, but she would now know that Alfred shot him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Alfred's the leader. So what he says goes. Always. Shoots a guy in the knees and then puts him in the containment room. That makes sense.
And where is Alfred?
Well. Before we get to that, what? Oh, actually, that's on the same vein. How does Frankie actually feel about Alfred? Because that would come up when thinking about Alfred.
Oh.
Was getting there.
Got it.
Well, now I have to make something canon. Let's see.
You
She obviously highly reveres him. There may be some feelings of admiration, and I would say, I don't know if you would call it love, but it's definitely in that realm.
She's got some big feels for Alfred.
Yeah, she's in her feelings for Alfred.
And then where is Alfred? He's in the record room. She just knows that.
But do I know where he is? I know that he went upstairs with Amy to go check.
Last you knew, and so the last information that Karen would get is that he was in the records room with Kayla before, and you guys came up and Kayla was right outside the records room.
Good to know.
And he has a thing inside of him.
Oh yeah.
And you have a thing inside of you. And everyone has things inside of them. And it's weird. And I don't like it.
That's odd. What do you think I have inside of me, Miss Ashford?
No, Karen? The alien, the interdimensional, the thing.
Uh-huh.
Have you gone to see John Rouge?
Not yet, but I did put in a report of where he was, based on what you told me. I don't know if you've noticed, but things have been a little chaotic since the lockdown. We've been running around trying to keep track of everything.
I hadn't really noticed, no, but I think if you met John Rouge, you would understand. I mean, you can kind of understand because you can see how we met him, I'm assuming.
I don't think I would have seen how they met him. I mean, I can read her thoughts, so I have an idea, but she doesn't know that I could read her thoughts. So
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead if you want to describe it.
Yeah, you would have learned that John Rouge told us that there was more to this lockdown test than just the lockdown. Some of the coworkers turned into zombies and we killed the zombies, and that was a part of the test. Letting things out of the containment unit to kill other employees was a part of the test. Alfred was not cool with that, obviously, because that means that save officers were dying. Becker understands this. We all fought, and then we subdued Rouge, who seems to be living still, even though he almost bled out from his knees being smashed in. They were
shot in.
Yes, being shot in. And he seems to have lost his mind because he's trying to figure out this equation. And when we went back down to interview him or talk to him, he admitted that he's not the real John Rouge. He's some sort of thing that's inside of him that came from the phone. So we know all of this information, and you kind of get that from my thoughts.
I see.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Karen's taking notes, so.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, do you have one last thing you want to say before Amy comes into the room while you're taking notes, or do you want her to come in now?
She can come in now. That's totally fine. I'm probably just talking about how we're just waiting on security to come and collect Frankie.
Oh, let's see. Number is 100. So that's a high success to throw a chair at Karen.
Yeah. So Amy comes into the room and suddenly a chair comes up from the floor and flies into Karen. Okay.
Am I rolling something?
You are going to roll something. You get at least some kind of reflex to not get hit with a chair. Your target number is 60.
19.
So it's a tie. So
I think that means she wins.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that means that the chair may still hit Karen, but in a way that it sort of like rolls off her back as she ducks out of the way kind of thing.
I couldn't just Waffle House catch it and set it down next to me.
Ooh, Waffle House catch it and set it down next to.
Precisely.
I'll allow it because that's cool.
Hello, Miss Veeres.
Realistically, the whole point of the chair is to give Frankie a chance to run.
For sure.
Oh, is that what you're conveying to me when you come in and throw a chair at Karen?
Well, yeah, she would essentially like burst in, throw the chair, and be like, "All right, Frankie, let's go."
Okay.
That doesn't stop Karen from holding the chair and saying,
No, not at
"Hello,
all.
Miss Veeres."
Okay. Frankie's gonna get up and make her way to the door.
I am standing and speaking
In the
very
doorway.
crisply and loudly to Becker for allowing them to pass him because he's part of the security team, I guess.
And so we'll cut to Kayla and Becker. And then we will end their little interaction with this bit. Kayla, what are you saying to Becker?
Becker, I know that you're just doing your job, but I'm kind of panicking a little bit right now. What's going on with Frankie? Like, Frankie and Karen, what's she gonna do to her?
As far as I know, the procedure for an employee, this is something I never actually thought I would have to say, an employee to raise a gun up against their boss, in this case, is to question them as to why the fuck they decided that was a good idea.
I don't know why she decided that was a good idea. It was the literal worst idea. But we kind of need her to not be in that room alone with Karen.
And why is that?
Because Karen's unknown. We already went over this, didn't we?
You didn't tell me that she was unknown, and
It definitely came up during the discussion while we were talking to John.
okay. So here's the thing. I want to trust you guys. I really, really want to trust you guys. We're friends. We've been talking together for a while. The issue is that your actions and reactions to what have been going on is more than concerning. Does that make sense?
I see where you're coming from. What can I do to help get you to trust us and believe what we're telling you?
I honestly don't know, because at this point you guys are... You're literally drawing weapons upon people without actually providing full proof.
Okay, I just want to clarify. Frankie made that decision on her own. Amy and I had nothing to do with that decision.
Even with John Rouge, because here's the thing. You didn't report it. You didn't say anything to the nature of like actually requesting a team to go after them. You took it into your own hands, vigilante style, and just did it. Now, that may work for a Dungeons and Dragons party to just balls to the wall, go for it. But this is the real world. Police officers aren't going to know what happened if we have to bring in a person who has shot up knees, because you thought that you sensed unknown in a person.
I see where you're coming from. I recognize that what we did was very unreasonable. I don't have a defense for it. I don't believe that's what we should have done. That wasn't a very good decision, but unfortunately we cannot undo our mistakes.
I also can't actually virtually blame you either, because a lot of this stuff that was going down was when you were away as well, so You get my frustration.
I do get your frustration, yes. I also am a bit frustrated, especially with Frankie and Alfred. I will be having a serious conversation with them when I can. But if Frankie is currently talking to an unknown that we believe could potentially have a very negative effect on her, I might not be able to have that serious conversation with her. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yes. Do you also see that if this is untrue, we could be very well, in fact, not only terminated from jobs, but from life for threatening government employees? Because that is the alternative right now if you are wrong.
How long have you worked with Save?
Going on 3 years now?
That's probably not long enough that I'm sure you've seen many unknown, and you understand that a lot of them do look like normal humans. And it can occasionally be difficult to tell, but with people like Amy and Alfred that can sense if someone is not what they say they are, we are able to make determinations on if these people, in quotation marks, are actually unknown or if they're actually human. And Amy has told me that Karen is unknown, and I trust her judgment, and I believe that we should take that into account.
And right about then, a chair goes flying inside the room. The door bursts open, and you hear
Reasonable, huh?
Karen.
Again, I would like to clarify that is not part of my decision.
Becker, you are supposed to be watching the door. She just came in and assaulted me with a chair.
I did no such thing. That chair threw itself at you. I did not lay a hand on that chair.
Out of the corner of my eye, did I actually see Amy grab that chair?
Amy
You
didn't
didn't
actually
fucking touch the chair.
grab the chair. Yeah, the chair moved itself. But you're also aware that there's some level of telekinesis coming from Amy, so you've seen it in action. Oh, it could have also been the poltergeist. There's also that. Yeah.
Frankie says that out loud.
Ooh, Frankie making some deception.
It could have been the
Roll
poltergeist.
your negative 30. Do it.
Hey, I think that only applies if she's trying to lie to Karen, because Karen can read her
That's fair.
mind.
That's true. She's lying to Becker.
At which point,
Oh,
Becker is going
no.
to look directly to Kayla. Is there actually a poltergeist right now in this room?
Yes, there is a poltergeist in this room right now. It is why all of the desks were pushed against the walls.
But yeah, well, that may be, but Frankie's lie failed. It was just kind of flatly delivered.
Let's also follow the logical line of thought when Miss Veeres was in the doorway when the chair went flying, and then immediately ordered Frankie to get up and leave, despite the fact that she is being retained until security arrives.
Hey, here's the fun fact, Karen. At this point, logic doesn't fucking mean anything. We've put, dozens of pieces together. We've traced the lockdown to the containment breach being connected. They're a test from Warfin. John Rouge knows about it. Obviously, yes, he does. He admitted to it. He is the one that approached me and said that we passed the test and that I was going to be getting a promotion. Which, by the way, I don't trust, and I'm pretty sure means he's going to try to take me over because fuck me, I guess. Anyway, let's go.
Miss Ashford, return to your seat, please.
What is Becker doing?
That is my question too. What is Becker doing?
I'm either going to hell or you're all coming with me. And he's drawing his 45 on Karen. Go back into the room, Karen.
What is Frankie doing? Frankie's afraid of me.
If I see Becker put his weapon on Karen, I'm gonna run out of the room. But I'm gonna go towards Becker's his desk to take my shotgun back.
She is afraid of Karen, but in the same way that she was. It's sort of like. It doesn't quite clarify what the fear is. Give me 1 second. Okay. Infected person likes concentrates no other actions. It doesn't actually say that she's super afraid. It just says that they make a horror roll. So.
Is it like a what type of afraid is it? So like a manipulation afraid? Like I have to listen
Yeah,
to
I
it?
think this probably falls into the category of like much like Karen being the head of HR, like you're worried that you might get fired if you don't say something. It just says that you confess. Yeah, that's really what it says. You make it causes a horror resolve roll. That's all it says. So it's not necessarily. I think it's just the type of trauma that you would be experiencing, because there's like 3 types in this game, and so it falls into the horror category. So you're not necessarily terrified of her, but like you confessed because the consequences of not telling the truth were worse.
Okay, but if she told me to sit down, would I sit down of fear, or could I run from fear?
Nah, you can run. It's just the type of horror that you're feeling, or the type of trauma that you're experiencing is horror. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna run out the room.
Okay. Towards your presumably ally with a gun pointed at the HR person. Becker, you're pointing a gun at the head of HR, just FYI, who also shares a desk with you. So You've had many a chit-chat before.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, can we all just be a little reasonable? Karen, will you please calmly walk with us down to containment?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I think we're well past the point of being reasonable.
Hey, but consider you do have 2 guns currently pointed at you, and they
I
will.
have 1 gun pointed at me. She's currently loading the shells into that shotgun backwards.
Okay, you have 1 gun pointed at you.
Hold on now. This shotgun was secured, right, Becker?
It was actually secured. Right now it's locked.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I just assumed she wouldn't have it together that fast.
I'm still trying to get at it because I know that he
Yeah.
put it away. But
Yes,
I'm definitely going to
and
no
she, I was gonna say she is actually an expert at doing this kind of thing. So if she wants to get at it, we'll let her make a roll, but she's definitely not holding it quite yet.
So you have a gun pointed at you, and I'd imagine you don't want to be shot. John Rouge did not seem to appreciate being shot, and I am thinking you might be similar to him, so we're gonna all go down to containment together.
Becker, you can't really be entertaining this nonsense. I haven't done anything to anyone. She's pointed guns at people. Now you're pointing guns at me. We've worked together for 3 years. Have I ever done anything to make you think that I'm anything other than myself?
Only the massive amount of paperwork and the very, very large smile that remains in your face, day after day after day.
Can't help it that I have a sunshiny disposition.
I'll tell you what, if they're wrong about you, I will fully resign.
Fuck, if we're wrong about this, you shoot me next.
Hang on, I have a question for the Chill Master that I have to ask in private.
Well, I was actually just messaging you in private too. Funny.
While you guys are doing that, Becker, would you have the keys to your desk on your person? That I would be able to see.
It's not a key situation. It is a numpad.
Okay. I'm just gonna break it.
I mean, you can make a larceny roll unless you failed it.
Yeah, I'm gonna just break into it instead of try to get him to.
It is a safe. It's a small safe, but it is a safe.
Oh, 86.
Oh.
Can I turn a token?
Sure, you can turn a token.
Yeah. I want to get in, get my shotgun.
I do have a much
Okay.
faster fix to all of this. There's a scanner right outside that door. I can walk through it if it would make you feel better. Goes off whenever something unknown goes through it, right?
Allegedly. But at this point, I don't fucking trust anything that goes in or out of this office, considering, again, we're working for an unknown. And also, who's to say that it would register that you're actually a parasite infecting somebody's brain?
Your
How-
theories get more and more outlandish, Miss Veeres.
I don't think they count as theories when they've been proven and admitted to.
If something unknown goes through that door, then it restarts the whole lockdown thing, and
Yes,
whoever walked through it would be able to go out to the public, potentially, and we don't want that to be a possibility.
Where's
Doesn't
Alfred?
it lock down the whole building,
Now, where is Alfred?
including the entryway that it's in?
Yeah, it would lock down the whole building. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be able to go anywhere if I was unknown. The doors outside lock too. You know that, right?
Listen, I can go outside. We're just trying to work through this as peacefully as possible, but there is something unknown in our office, and we need to get that to containment.
Didn't you just say there was a poltergeist in the office? Shouldn't that be your concern?
We are also
You know what?
working on that,
It was
and
before
the
you
bloody
made us,
bones and the vents.
before you made us sit down and, well, tried to make us sit down and do paperwork.
I was delivering Mr. Warfan's orders.
Uh-huh.
And
Mr. Orphan's
have
orders
you-
can go fuck off.
And
Have you
I've
ever
done...
actually seen Mr. Warfan?
Yes, I have meetings with him every morning.
You see, none of us
assuming
have
that
ever
he's
seen
in
him.
the office. Well, of course, your jobs don't directly interface with his. I'm the head of HR. Mine does.
I just don't know if we can trust John Warfan.
Where's John?
Which John?
John
The green
Veeres.
one?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm asking Aaron. I'm not pointing my gun at her, but I do have
Oh,
it
he's
now.
taking care of the paperwork that I needed him to do. Some of it on your team about the problems that you've been causing. You know, he has to sign off on all of the destruction of property that you've been doing so that we can make insurance claims.
In his office?
I would assume so, though I've been in here with you, so if he's moved since then, she'll kind of shrug. I wouldn't know.
I'd like to go and check both John's offices and see if they're both in their offices.
Which John do you go to first?
There.
Okay. You find his door unlocked, and inside he's doing paperwork.
And then Blanc.
He looks up at you and says, Frankie, did you need something?
Yeah, I'm not going to answer. I'm just going to go over to Blanc's.
Just shut the door and leave.
Yeah.
You go to Blanc's office. You find it locked.
Do I hear anything on the other side?
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
Frankie really wants to use this shotgun. But she's gonna pick the lock instead
Okay.
of the knob.
There's a lot of activity going on, a lot of shouting, so there's people looking at you as you are standing at the door. You want to go ahead and make the roll with a bunch of people watching you?
I'll be honest, it's not the most ridiculous thing happening right now.
that's kind of true.
Okay, before I do that, then I'm going to knock on the door.
Okay. You hear a response from the side. I am not leaving until security has cleared the space. Is this security?
I'm not going to answer him either. I'll just walk away. Okay. And I'll come back to the group. Okay, so I'm not 100% sure who's normal or who's not normal. But it seems like Karen and the Johns are at least not immediately, like, dangerous. Like, you know, I think they could all take a shotgun to the knee if we needed to. Should we figure out where John is?
So you're
John
saying
W.
incapacitate them for further questioning?
Yeah. Kayla? Becker?
I'm not sure at the moment. I
Maybe we should
think
get Alfred way in.
I think he's in the records room still, as far as I know.
I'll head to the records room.
He's been inside there looking at books this entire time.
The records room is very disorganized.
I
if you haven't
thought he got
noticed.
food poisoning.
Oh, that's just great too. Alright, so he's been stuck in the bathroom with the leak this entire time then.
Yeah,
That might be the case.
ex-head of research gave him microwave shrimp. And then
That
sent
he kept in his pocket.
sent a swarm of spiders at us.
Oh, Becker was there for that. But not
Yeah, I
that
know.
shrimp
I
part.
was remembering that part, yeah. I didn't know about the shrimp though.
Yes, the guy kept microwaved shrimp in his pocket.
If that's not a sign of the unknown, I don't know what is.
Aaron,
Uh,
Is anyone in the records room? Or is it empty?
We'll get to that in a second. Becker's trying to talk to Karen.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear him because other people were talking. Yes, Becker.
John Rouge didn't bleed.
Yes, he
Point
did.
of clarification.
did?
Yes, he did.
He
Yeah.
bled a lot.
That was Darius that wasn't bleeding, right?
Yes.
Darius wasn't bleeding, yeah.
Darius didn't bleed. John Rouge didn't seem to care that he was bleeding, though.
That is correct.
I see. I'm sorry. What
Do
was
you bleed?
Do I bleed? Are you threatening me, Becker?
No, I'm asking an actual question here to test to see if you are actually unknown. Because if we can't trust that, we can at least trust what our eyes and senses tell us. Hopefully.
You're welcome to try to cut me if you would like, and I'll hold out a hand.
Can I?
You should know that blood makes me very queasy, though.
I can have a bag on standby if you'd like.
Karen will hold out her hand, palm up, fingers out, and will turn her head and close her eyes like she does not want to see the blood.
Becker
Amy,
will
were
take out
you-
a small knife and go forward.
Okay.
I would like to, while this is all going on, use the hidden hand to hold Karen in place.
Oh. I mean, the hand is still active since we're still in the same scene. So go ahead and make a roll to finesse it.
It's only a low success.
Okay. Well then, Karen, make a little bit of a roll for me. Let's see if you can resist being held in place by an unseen hand.
Could I
This
just
would be-
choose to fail?
Okay. You can choose to fail. I'll allow that to happen. You choose to fail. You're being held in place by an unseen hand. Becker approaches with a small knife.
And he will gently take her hand and make a small incision upon her pinky, idea being that it's the least affected should something actually be normal for her.
She does bleed. She also yelps and like jumps back from you and is like, or well, tries to jump back, but is being held by the hand and is like cradling her hand.
She does bleed. There's now a little bit of blood on the ground and on your blade.
Deeply sighs, holsters his gun, wipes off the blood from his knife, puts it away.
I brought you cookies for your birthday.
Becker, are you
And-
fucking serious? Amy's gonna take off running.
A lot of unknown things that bleed.
And then he's going to go
All
get
right.
the medical kit.
Got it. All right. So Becca's going to get the medical kit. Amy is running somewhere.
She's making
And-
her way for the stairs.
Got it. And Frankie was going into the records room.
Mhm.
You are unfortunately not greeted by the familiar face of Alfred. He's not in the records room at the moment.
She'll come back to the group and see this chaos happening.
Come back to Kayla as Amy has bolted across, dodging a bunch of people and desks running to the other side of the office.
What happened?
Aaron is storming off away from Becker because he just cut her.
I think Becker was planning on like patching it up.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
she's
did go
leaving.
for the med kit.
She does not seem to care. She seems more upset than anything. She's just going to leave.
Very good. Very good. Leaving Frankie and Kayla to stand there while Amy goes off to the other side. So we'll let you interact and then we'll go to Amy to find out what Amy's up to.
What happened there?
Decided that if, for some reason, he decided that if Karen could bleed, she was an unknown. And Karen bled. So,
Okay. Well,
a lot of unknown things bleed. Just saying.
okay. We need to find John W. And ignore all of these small fish. Do you know where his office would be?
Know that?
Neither of you know that.
Who would know?
Would know.
What'd you say?
Karen would know.
Hmm.
Sure. Anyone else?
Maybe Becker? Maybe?
Is there any way we could find out?
Leroy would also know, presumably.
Leroy's in the hospital.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Well,
Does Leroy have a smartphone?
No.
Darn.
unfortunately.
You know what? You know what Leroy does have, though, Kayla, as you're thinking about it? Leroy has a series of pneumatic tubes where he gets messages from various places from the office.
And
He
I know where the
does.
mailroom is.
Let's
maybe
go to
we
the
can
mailroom.
Yeah. Cool. We have a plan.
Sort
We
of.
have to go up to the 3rd floor.
Second floor.
Yep, the
mailroom's
mailroom's on the second floor.
Okay.
It's just before the secret
hallway.
the
Yeah.
secret cafeteria.
Yeah.
I forgot the word coffee shop for a second.
The coffee shop. Yes, it's in the weird part of the office where you can't seem to ever really remember it being there, and then when you find it, it's a surprise because you can't remember how you forgot that it was there.
Gotcha.
But we're gonna go to Amy. Amy, where are you going?
She's gonna do something real smart.
Okay.
So you remember that lighter she put in her pocket a while ago?
Yep. Chekhov's gun.
Remember
I remember
that? I appreciate that. Remember that stack of paperwork on her desk?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. She's gonna go ahead and light that on fire.
Okay.
And then make her way down the stairs.
With the flaming papers in her hand?
No, she's leaving those.
Okay. So she's going to light the papers on fire, leaving them on her desk, and then heading down the stairs.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Essentially just yelling, "What the f*** are you fucking kidding me?" the entire time.
Okay. So, Frankie and Kayla, Amy seems to be experiencing some kind of mental breakdown. Lighting papers on her desk and then running to the staircase to head down. People in the office start panicking and freaking out. John Vert comes out of his office to find out what's going on. And then chaos ensues as people start trying to figure out what to do about the fire. People go into the break room. Some people get tossed against walls. You hear what sounds like popping explosions or something in the break room. Somebody's looking for a fire extinguisher, and I'm going to turn it over to you to tell me how you react to all this.
What do we want to do? Do we want to run up to the mailroom or check that out first? Or split up?
We should go ahead to the mailroom and use the distraction that Amy made for us to hopefully be able to find out where John Orphan is.
Okay. We both book it to the stairs to go up to the 2nd floor.
Gotcha. It's down to the 2nd floor. Everything is down. You're on the 1st
we're
floor.
underground.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. It's underground, so think of it like a reverse tower. Everything is down. Okay. So you pass by all of this chaos of people freaking out. Someone does get a fire extinguisher. John steps toward the both of you and he says, "Hey, both of you. I heard that there was some paperwork you needed to do, and I haven't seen any of it on my end." He just keeps talking as you walk by because I assume you're not going to stop and talk.
They just point at the desk.
Yeah. Someone starts spraying the fire extinguisher all over the place. They find that it works just fine. Others are trying to figure out what Amy was doing. And then as you are all leaving, as the two of you enter the stairwell to go down to the 2nd floor, some desks start sliding around and people go, "What the?" And that's what you hear as you step into the stairwell.
I guess thank you, Poltergeist, for helping add to that distraction.
This place is a madhouse.
It really is. Let's just hope we don't run into the Bloody Bones thing in the vents.
Oh, I forgot about that. Okay.
I would try not to do that.
I didn't.
It's fine. The worst that could happen.
Right. We're doing so well.
Sure.
Heading down, where does Amy go as she goes down the stairs?
I think she's gonna make her way towards that hallway that nobody can seem to remember.
The secret hallway.
Secret hallway. Which, as I've discussed, she has detailed at least a bit in her notes.
Heading out through the 2nd floor first. The others will eventually join you, but heading out through the 2nd floor, you come across the training area where all of the recruits are trained. They're not there. They obviously evacuated with everyone else, but they haven't filed back in. The acquisitions area has a security slider drop over the window that people can approach to talk to the person that's in there. It's down. And you get to that end of the hall. However, you have these extensive notes, so you still have to try to find it, which I believe we've been using Investigate to do, but I'm going to give you a plus 10 because you have all these notes on it.
All right. That's a colossal success.
Oh, yeah. That's real good. So you get to the end of the acquisitions area and you immediately see the hallway, like you just know where it is, thanks to your intense notes and whatnot. And I will turn a token for you guys. Oh, bam. Okay. So you see this hallway. It has the mailroom and a couple of other doors and closets. One of which you remember is a mop room that apparently leads to a coffee shop.
Hey, staying the fuck away from that one, because she doesn't know where the intern is. So for all she knows, the intern's in there, and it's a coffee shop and not a broom closet right now.
Mm-hmm. And so where is she going?
She's essentially just gonna rely on the fact that most people can't seem to find this hallway and just wait.
Ah, very good. Eventually, Frankie and Kayla come down to the second floor and enter the training area as well. So I'll let you two continue to interact with each other until eventually you get to where Amy is. And while you would normally have to make the investigate roll, I think Amy will probably be a good enough sign as to where the hallway is.
Okay.
Considering
So
successful with that.
Let's make a list of the things that we need to worry about right now. First is Karen, John Worfen, the thing in the vents, the poltergeist. No. They're just the things that I am currently remembering, and I want us to keep in mind. Do you have anything to add?
To be honest, like she's scary, but I don't know. I actually am really confused about the Johns, Karen, and even Rouge. They are strange, but the only thing that's really happened is that people were let out of the containment. And we know that was, or we think that was John W. But it was ordered by him to Rouge. Is that what we think happened?
Are you sure that Karen didn't do something to your mind to make you be more trusting of her and her constituents?
Well, I don't trust her. That hasn't changed. And again, I just keep waiting for someone to tell me that I can shoot someone. And I will shoot everyone.
You cannot shoot anyone.
I mean, I can though. You can just be like, go ahead. If you say go ahead, and I'll know, and then I'll do it. So I'm fully ready for that. Just waiting on that from you guys, and I have not gotten that, unfortunately. So I'm still 100% on board with shooting Karen. So, that can definitely happen. But I think when I think of who needs to be on the first of the list, it seems like it's really just John W. I think he's the one doing all of this. And even if Karen and the Johns are in his pocket because they get the earworm from the telephone, they're still just minions.
That's fair. I think we just need to be cautious of everyone in the office at the moment. But definitely Worfen should be our top priority right now.
And at some point we should probably find Alfred because we do know that he's infected. We don't know.
He is also one of our priorities.
What's happened there? But I think for right now, finding Big John, I'm pretty sure everyone calls him, and figuring out how to at least cut his access off to the rest of the building. Because I don't think Karen and the Johns are going to believe or listen to us.
Obviously, Karen's not going to listen to us. But John Vert still seemed to be reasonable.
Yeah, but he's too, you know, like in the sauce, so to speak. Both
That's fair.
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be any way to sway them to understand what we're talking about.
Also, slightly off topic, but I want to clarify for the future, pointing a gun at someone will be our last resort, okay? We won't do that unless it's absolutely necessary. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Good talk. You really came down hard on me there.
Is this about the time that Amy pops from down the hallway?
Yes. Yes, it would be.
Hey, we're fucked.
Yeah, I think that's kind of obvious.
Mm-hmm. What do we do?
Let's go into the mailroom to find Worfin's office.
All right. I'll hope. I'm assuming the mail room's still open since last time I was in here.
Yes. Yes, it is.
We'll go in.
Okay. The door opens and there's a whole stack of papers laying on the various desks. A whole bunch of envelopes, as I've said. Both of Leroy's carts are in here. And there's a weird pile of memos laying on the ground, clearly having come out of some of the tubes.
Okay. Can I identify which one says John W. or his last name? Or
It's not quite
anything?
so easy, but if you make an investigate roll, you might be able to figure out based on the memos and things laying on the floor which ones were coming directly from the big boss himself and haven't yet been folded and put into envelopes and sent out to people.
Okay. Can we all make one?
Sure.
We're all kind of looking for the same thing.
If everyone is doing it.
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, well, okay.
Ooh.
Hey!
Hey Scott, can we flip a token?
Sure.
Cool, I got a colossal success.
Oh, wait. I don't... I have to check on that one.
You don't flip it back over.
I was going to say, this seems a bit weird to be flipping it back over
No,
to
it
that.
specifically says that you
Okay.
don't flip it back over.
All right. Well, everyone did a pretty good job. Kayla did a great job. Frankie did a good job. But Amy, you just sort of hone in right on this pile of the most important memos that very clearly came from like whoever makes the most decisions around here. They've been piling up, and the one key trigger is this memo that's supposed to go to everyone to remind them all that, well, two memos. First one, to remind them that there's a mandatory safety meeting they're supposed to go to. But secondly, that they're supposed to return to their desks or else they will get 3 points against them. It's the only pile that has those memos.
Hey, I think I found it.
Go find the actual office then.
Yeah. Should we just follow it, or should we send something in and then follow it? Which one would be easier?
Please, to read the specifics of how something works.
You want to use your ability to figure out how it works?
Well, I need to go look at how that ability works. But yes, I am potentially thinking of using schematic if I can find where this.
Sure. I wasn't sure if it was my headphones failing or what, because I only partially caught that, but now I understand. I believe that you would be able to know how it works, right? Like at least the breakdown on its what it's made of and how it's supposed to work.
So touching a part of a building provides the character with knowledge of the materials used during construction along with a mental blueprint.
Right. So you'd be able to then, if you were basing it off of that, then you should be able to have the basic design of the tube and thus be able to kind of mentally map out where it goes.
Yeah.
In the building.
Yep.
Supposing there's not weird hidden hallways again.
Well,
right.
that's, I mean, obviously that is kind of a problem, but it's also a problem we have to work with regardless of whether I do this or not.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, we flipping the thing then?
Yeah, we're gonna
Dealing
flip the
with that.
thing. So I can find out where this goes.
I now have 2 tokens. Hooray. Okay. So you touch it and you get this understanding that it's plastic. It uses pressurized air movement. You could send something through and track it if it were, but you get this weird kind of mental image of its shape and design. You could pretty much, without having to, like, without actually knowing where it goes specifically, you would be able to follow it in the halls and things based on its shape and design. Supposing you don't run into, hidden secret hallways,
Right.
which you'd have to navigate through. But you could follow it. You'd have a good idea. And one thing that stands out to you is that it goes down below the 3rd floor.
Hey, fun fact. We apparently have more than 3 floors here.
See?
It's not comforting.
This is why I've been wanting to get into the walls.
Fun fact number 2, we're going beneath the 3rd floor.
Great. Yep. All right, let's go. Do you know how to get to under the 3rd floor?
Not yet, we're gonna have to figure that out as we go.
All right.
Well, I think that this is a good place to stop for the evening, and we can rejoin our envoys next time as they try to figure out how to get below the basement floor. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we hope that you've enjoyed this chill game.